Hi everyone, welcome back. It's our 12:30 p.m. live stream. We are here to talk about Alice caught in the cross currents. This is also our impact area around financial security. So if you were with us this morning, I hope you got your groove on because we were Zumbaing it out and getting all pumped up for the day, getting everybody excited about our day of giving. And speaking of getting excited, I just thought that I would bring in our leaderboard, our campaign thermometer that's keeping us on track of like what's happening and where we stand in the progress of today. We are nearing the halfway mark, which I think for starting at 8:30, 4 hours in, is a really strong start, everyone. So thank you so much for all your contributions so far. I love seeing the smaller donations. I actually had Shelly and I were chatting, just following the segment, and she was saying how, oh, it's a bunch of little donations, and I said, isn't that amazing? Because it's just the small donations when we all come together that really make a huge impact. So whatever you're able to give today, please consider that, because you know what, we have an $8,000 matching gift that we're working towards today. One of our sponsors is going to be joining us here in a moment, Service First. They're sponsoring this segment and will be joining us to talk about all that they have to offer in terms of financial literacy classes. So more on that in a bit. But I just wanted to share, our theme today is Unite and Ignite. And I just want everyone to take a moment and think about a community that is connected, empowered, and inspired. And that is really the theme behind today's Day of Giving. We really want to harness the collective power of our community to make a positive impact, no matter what the size of your donation. So, as I said, this is a great time to give because your donation is getting matched by Service First. Thank you so much, Service First. So, I would love for you guys to just, drop in the chat. You should see the donate link coming up there any second. So that's a great place to, click and give. So please do so. And also, just remember that this is all part of the experience with United Way, but you get to designate. You can designate to your favorite charities. You can designate to a funded partner, but like we're all here collectively giving for what we believe in and what we're most passionate about. So we want to inspire you today. We're going to learn more about Alice and what that means and who is Alice. So, but first, I'd love to welcome our matching gift sponsor, Service First, but also our she's our co-vice president now. She was our board president last year, Colleen Snover. She's here representing Service First, but so much more. So Colleen, I'm just gonna welcome you to our live stream. Please welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, thanks. I'm so excited to be here. This is actually one of my favorite days, Danielle, because, and I know this was your idea, we've been doing this for a few years, but I think it's just such a great opportunity for people to learn more about United Way and all the amazing things that the United Way does. So happy to be here.
Well, thank you. You are one of the OGs of the Day of Giving. We were chatting about that. This is our 5th year doing this. I cannot believe it. We launched this in COVID times, which, doesn't feel that far away, but also does. But 5 years, a lot has happened. And here we are again. As you said, this is one of our favorite times of the year because we do get to talk about the work that we're doing and about what we're passionate about, meeting community needs, and also all the amazing work of our funded partners. So why don't you tell us a little bit about why this segment is so important to you?
Thanks. Well, I'm here, like you said, on different roles as vice chair of the Susquehanna Valley United Way board, and then also vice president of training and development for Service First. So it's kind of like a combination of a lot of things that I care about, but really it comes from my own background. I grew up in a very small town in Pennsylvania. You think about like the 7 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon. In my town, it was like a 1 degree of separation. If you didn't know someone, you knew someone who knew them. And, it was one of those towns where if you broke down on the side of the road, someone stopped and helped you. And you probably knew them or you knew their family. And I think about our community and how things have changed over the years. Like I said, I grew up in a small town. I then went to Bloomsburg University. And when I was in college, my parents got divorced, and I had to drop out of college because neither one could afford to send me to college. As many of you know, divorce is the number one cause of poverty for women. And so I dropped out of college. I was working two jobs. I was driving my 1976 pea green Buick Skyhawk that I bought for $400 back and forth to work.
Wow.
And I was working. I was actually a CNA in a nursing home, and then I worked overnight. I worked as a home health aide, and it was an Easter Sunday. I had to work, and my car broke down on the way to work on Easter Sunday. And there was no one that stopped to help me. My closest family was 3 hours away. And I called work, and they were like, if you don't get here, you're fired. They thought I was lying about being broken down on the side of the road. And, I was young, I was single, I got through it, I managed. But for so many of our Alice families, this is an everyday struggle. One of the big issues in our community is the lack of public transportation. And, like I said, I was single, but when you have kids to take care of and you're struggling with those transportation issues, it's just a huge problem and a huge burden and stress. People that don't know Alice stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. And it's our friends, it's our neighbors, it's our coworkers who are above the poverty line, but not making enough to earn ends meet. So they don't get a lot of the resources that are available if you're below poverty, but they're also not able to, save any extra for any of those emergencies. And I don't want to steal Adrienne's thunder, but in our area, it's about 2 out of every 5 households. What I'm really passionate about is in our 5-county region, if you're talking about single female households, so, head of household is a single mom, it's over 75%. In some of our counties, 9 out of 10 single mom households are Alice. And so, it's, as a single mom, that's heartbreaking. I know how difficult it is to try and do everything yourself, and, getting up at 5 a.m., making lunches, getting the kids ready for school, getting ready for work, trying to do your best to cook, clean, manage the kids, do a good job at work. And God forbid somebody gets sick, trying to manage appointments and sporting events and all of that. And I'm lucky. I'm not Alice. But I've been there and I know those struggles. And, they say it takes a village. Um, I grew up where, it was that neighbor helping neighbor. And I think that that's really what the United Way is helping connect people, helping, I know who I can reach out to get you the resources you need. And so the United Way does so much of that, but then they also look at what is still needed in our community, and they know who to get together to solve those problems, whether it's transportation, whether it's our teen centers that, we've created. It's all of those things that just knowing how to meet those needs in our community, and especially for our Alice families, which is, a huge percentage of our population.
That is, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate you being just so willing to share your experience with what the Alice households face. But I will venture to say that a lot of us have actually experienced what it's like to be there. Makes me so sad thinking about you on the side of the road and no one stopping to help. Oh, I was like, that's terrible. But I love what you said about the United Way being a convener and a place to go for resources. We talked about that a lot in the first live stream today, just about the different community resources and all of us working together as a community to make sure people have what they need. It really is. It does, as you said, take a village. So I wanted to ask you so you shared a little bit about what the Alice population and why you're so passionate about it. Do you feel like what would the world look like if we were able to really address some of these critical needs or build the gap around what do you think that world would look like?
It would be really nice to see, especially in our community, where people can find a way to work if they want to work, where they're encouraged to work. Sometimes people, unfortunately, are in that situation where they're in worse shape if they try to work compared to, taking advantage of some of the resources to not work, because you get above that poverty line and then a lot of resources are taken away and it's so difficult. So having those resources, having like my going back, to my childhood where people help each other, and we just, if somebody needs something, you know who to contact, and how to help them get those
You
resources.
know who you can get your cups of sugar from. So
Yeah. And that's one of the things that the United Way, and specifically Adrienne, is so good at, is getting people to sit down at the same table and talk about the issues and figure out how we can solve them. That's actually how I met her. Was, we were talking and she's like, "Hey, can you talk to," this was before she was even in the United Way. "Hey, can you talk to people about credit scores and budgeting?" And because I just, it's what I know, it's how I can help people. And I love to be able to do that. And I'm hoping that at Service First, we can do even more to help people, to meet their financial needs, to understand some of the things they can do to improve their financial situation.
Well, yeah, speaking of Service First, I want to again thank you for sponsoring. As I said, you are one of the OGs. You were our first sponsor for the Day of Giving ever, first matching gift. And when you stepped up and said that you were going to match dollar for dollar, every donation that came in that year, we doubled. Like, that Day of Giving was just like blew our socks off. We were like, whoa, look at what we're able to do together when people come together. So as you said, Service First is the sponsor for this segment. I know that you, one of the things I'm going to put in the chat here is some of those financial education opportunities. So if anyone's interested, do you want to share a little bit about what those opportunities are with Service First in terms of financial literacy courses and whatnot?
Sure. Well, credit unions were actually started to help those who weren't able to get loans at banks. And our philosophy really is people helping people and helping to educate people to be able to make better financial decisions. So we have certified financial counselors at every branch that can help people, that can do financial checkups and, look at people's credit report and explain to them little things they can do to improve their credit so they can buy that house or buy that car. And then we also have tons of educational pieces on our website, even on our mobile app, that anyone, even if you're not a member, you can go on our website and look at those resources and, create a budget for yourself or for your family, because we just want to help people to be able to get in a better financial position.
Well, thank you so much. And for everyone, I just dropped the financial literacy page into the chat along with the webpage. So there's a lot of stuff there. I myself am a Service First customer and I love it. We just opened a bank near where I live, which I'm not going to tell on the internet out loud on a live stream, but you just open. If anyone knows, it's probably not hard to figure out. It's your bank that just opened. Super excited. We're going to take my daughter down and open up a little a savings account for her, and begin that journey of like financial wellness and financial literacy. So I also wanted to share that, you've been such a supporter of the United Way and just, can you share a little bit about why you're so passionate about the work that United Way does and like in overall, like why invest your time with this organization? We were all talking about how time poor we are. And, I think part of coming together as a community is giving of yourself and giving of your time. So why give to the United Way?
Well, for me, I am a very busy single mom. I don't have a lot of extra time. So if I'm going to give my time to an organization, it has to be something that I believe in. And I think that the United Way really meets those needs in our community. it's really all of it. I was talking last night at the VIP event and, saying, well, which one is kind of what I'm most passionate about? But honestly, it's all of it. I mean, the financial security is certainly a huge passion of mine. But if you're not financially secure, that affects your mental health. It affects your physical health. It affects, the education of your kids. I mean, when you're trying to make ends meet, sometimes it's difficult to also do everything that you need to do for your kids. And I think the United Way just helps in so many aspects. And then it's also, funding those other nonprofits. So if you're not sure where to donate, you can give it to the United Way, and then they'll make sure it goes to all of the organizations in our area, where there's a need. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me.
Oh, well, I just want to say thanks again for joining us. Is there anything else you want to share? And actually, why don't you tell us what you want to see people unite and ignite over this day of giving?
I really want to see people unite and ignite over helping Alice households. And, what can we do as a community for those Alice households? One of the big things for me is transportation, because it's just such an issue where we don't have public transportation for people.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see us. And I know the United Way, we are working on some of that, but that's a big one.
Well, we will be talking about that later on in this segment. Thank you for that glorious segue. Again, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. And again, you've been here since the beginning. You believed in this event. You believed in the work that we do for so many years. And we just value you so much, Colleen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Have a wonderful day, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. Have a great
Thanks.
one. Well, thank you so much again to Colleen and to Service First for making this matching gift possible. As we said, we are trying to hit that $8,000 mark. I'm happy to report that some donations are still trickling in. Thank you, everyone. We're really in such a good spot, but we could push so much further. So any little bit you can give, please let folks know. Share this in your social media. If you, I love what Colleen said about like-mindedness. If there's someone like you who's like-minded and cares about these causes, this is a great opportunity to really know that your dollar is making a big impact. So thank you again to everyone who's given. Jennifer, Linaire, you guys, thank you so much. Liz, thank you. She's also a credible board member and community member who's just moving and shaking. So thank you all for participating and for being with us today. So I think we will let you know, as Colleen said, she's had that experience of being an Alice, having those challenges that our Alice population faces. And we just wanted to share another story, an Alice story with you right now. So without further ado, I want you guys to meet the Stackfields.
My name is Preston.
My name is Ashley. We met in high school. Well, we knew each other before that, but we just kind of started to date our junior year.
And she was friends with some of my cousins and told them that she thought I looked good, so that's how we sort of started talking, and the rest has been history.
Yeah, and then, well, he went to college, and then I ended up getting pregnant with our first child. And then he came back, got a job. Yeah, and I worked while I was pregnant, and then when I had the baby, I didn't want to put him in daycare. I was just scared. So I went part-time, and then kind of just lived for 5 years, and then we had our second child, and then right after that came the third.
Otis, he's the more artistic one.
Yeah, he's very creative.
Plays the saxophone.
He's very dependable. He's a big help with the little ones. Our middle one,
a little helper, wants to be like his big brother.
Yeah, he's super athletic. He always practices outside.
And then there's the younger one.
He's got a different type of energy.
He's rambunctious, he's energy, but he's so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't have
so
any other kid like
carefree.
him. I was self-employed as an insurance agent, which was probably some of the toughest times we've had. There would be ups and downs because being self-employed, you only got paid when you made sales. There was probably 2 occasions where I had car troubles, and even though you might only miss a couple days off of work, it really affects the future because you don't have that activity going. So you might not feel it at that point in time, but a month or 2 down the line, it would start getting a little tight, and you would just have to push through it.
That's what always set us behind.
Yeah.
I mean, things would go good, and then a car would break down, and
Yep.
we wouldn't. I mean, fortunately, we had family that would help us out sometimes, but it was always the cars, and that was like our bad luck, and that set us back because we'd have to spend the money that we saved, putting it into the car, and then we'd be back to square one.
I've been in banking for the last 2.5, almost 3 years now.
I work in a group home with individuals who have mental illnesses. I stay home in the morning and then I work the evening shift, yes. We work opposite shifts because childcare is just too much.
Yeah,
Just
pretty
didn't work
much
out.
if she went full-time, the money for sending 2 kids to childcare, it would be
would've-
raced away for that. So then someone else is raising your kids and you're still not getting ahead. Our oldest son, he'll be 10 soon. He plays lacrosse, he plays basketball, he does basketball practice, he does the instrument saxophone. Our middle one's getting to soccer now. He'll be able to play basketball soon. This was actually the first season recently where we actually couldn't make all the kids' games.
Because they're so busy and I work every other weekend and I work 3 to 11, I can't make all the games, so it's always hard for me. Mondays is a day that I work and he works as well, and that's a practice day.
Mhm.
Usually it falls on him to take the kids to practice, stuff like that, and it's just one person because I'm not there in the evenings. So it's extra hard that day, and then also on the weekends, that's when most games are. I can't always be there because I have to work opposite shifts. So as far as like our jobs go, my job, it's extra hard for me in that area because I have to miss a lot.
Where we're at, I think a lot of people are, and it is a tough situation because, everyone wants to move forward. So, to move forward, you have to make more money, keep working, or work more hours. But then if we were to actually not work, and we would qualify for more assistance. But the thing is, if she doesn't work and we get more assistance, we're gonna be at the same spot we are for the rest of our lives.
I just want to be in a position where we're comfortable, where we don't have to pick and choose kind of what we do.
My hopes would be to continue to advance at my current job. I would like to, just like to keep putting more money aside, increase what I'm putting into the kids' 529s. I think one of our next things is, even though I have a retirement set up through me, she doesn't have one. So we'd like to get her one, but that's probably once she starts going back full time, then we can have funds to put towards that. So just keep putting money away, and hopefully it grows, and then hopefully we're at a point where we can increase the amount we're contributing into those different, vehicles for saving. No matter how hard your situation is, there's someone who has it worse. So that's why I try not to complain about things. Keep moving forward, because if you're complaining, you're just wasting energy. So try to teach that to the kids and the community as well.
Well, that is the United for Alice story. There's so many too. It's very moving. It's also hard because people are struggling. And I think now, today, more than ever, people are struggling in ways that they maybe have not struggled before. So this might feel especially poignant. So as you saw in that video, these were stats from 2017. So one thing that has recently come out is an updated report, and I'm actually going to bring our president and CEO, the one and only Adrienne Mael. She's going to come in and share about what are these new updates, and there she is, and what we are doing to address them. So Adrienne, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for all you're doing on this wonderful and magical day.
Thank you. You look wonderful. We had such a fun time at the event last night, our kickoff, our launch party. So We're here today at our financial security live stream. We're talking about Alice. We heard from Colleen, and now we just heard the story of the stack field. So I was wondering what you might be able to share with us about these updated statistics that were just released in 2022. So.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. And unfortunately, the updated statistics are not good at all. The pandemic really hurt people, set people back. Now, the inflation, and some other contributing factors have left us with higher ALICE populations and higher numbers of people in emergency need than ever before. So, I think those statistics that you saw have really only increased in this time. And one of the things we're thinking about at United Way is what can we do to make a difference with this population of people?
Absolutely. So we have some of those stats right here. So Adrienne, do you want to just kind of walk us through the updated report? Now this, I am going to drop this in the chat for those who do want to do a deeper dive. There's so much at this link. There's different, they drill down, excuse me, I have an allergy tickle in my throat that I've been fighting since we started. So I need a little bit of water.
I'll take it over, Danielle.
Thank you.
And so, what you're seeing here is that 2 out of 5 of, every household right here in Pennsylvania are struggling in that ALICE population of people. 2 out of 5. And Danielle, if you wouldn't mind flipping to the next, what you'll see is that, so these are the local stats of people who are in the ALICE population and an emergency need right here in our 5 counties that we serve. So 47% Columbia County, 46% Union County, 45% for Snyder County, and on and on. So that means that very close to 50% of the population right here is struggling. And the emergency needs population, we have great organizations that really focus in on that work. We're so lucky to have them. They do not have all the resources they need to meet those needs. In some of our counties, really, when people are about to be evicted, they don't have money for rent and utilities for many reasons. They're not having what they need to meet those needs, to pay those, and people are getting evicted. So one thing that our board of directors has really gotten behind in the last 2 years, is if we could keep the people who are in that ALICE population in stability. So that is people, again, who are living paycheck to paycheck. And what we find is they're probably always about 10% behind. So credit card debt, things. So not only are they not saving, but they're also just a little bit behind and always dragging a little bit of debt. So when a car breaks down, when someone just told me a story about an unexpected medical bill that came up, now all of a sudden they're in emergency need. So the ALICE Fund that we have created here at United Way is to really give us the chance to say, what can we do for this population of people so that they're not falling into emergency need? And can that be kind of our lens? If we can keep people from falling into emergency need and getting, caught up with the people who are, really behind on rent and utilities and all of that, then the population is better because there's not enough as it is. So Danielle, is it okay if I go into some of the things that we do?
Yeah, I think we have one more slide. We're just kind of highlighting a little bit about why some of these things are happening now, like why those numbers increased. Did you want to maybe visit that a little bit? And then we can talk about, as you said, what are we doing to work on these solutions?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, as we all know, and it's been talked about a lot, the rising costs of basic necessities, that inflation is a really big piece of this. When the federal tax credits that were helping people, especially during the pandemic, those ended, many within the last year. That really affected people significantly. And then there is also, and of course, this is going to be another initiative of United Way in the coming years, again, with the local community, those rising costs of rents, It's really a very big issue. It's very expensive for people to even get into an apartment, stay in that apartment. And then the childcare goes right along with that. If you have kids that you need to get childcare for, we have a couple of people, including myself in the office, that deal with this. It's very expensive, but then of course we want there to be really good, high quality childcare. So that's a conundrum we'll talk about. Of course we're all feeling them. And so what can we do about it? Yes, this is a problem, but at United Way, we like to say, yes, this is an issue. We've identified it. There's lots and lots of great organizations that are working on it. What can we all do together? So one of the things that we do to support the ALICE population and to support really those in emergency need, those who are currently in crisis, is a program called VITA. It's our volunteer tax program. For many people, they need their full tax return and more. And so what we're able to do is offer high quality IRS certified preparers who do your taxes for free. It's a wonderful program. You have to be a very special program to enjoy volunteering for a tax program. And we are lucky enough to have those people with us, people who get excited every year to do people's taxes. They are not scared by them. They know exactly what to do. And again, they're IRS certified. So this is a high quality program. Every single return is monitored, it's stamped, sent, it's reviewed again. Sometimes, they get kicked back, no problem, get fixed and sent. And the great part about it too is those people live locally and can help year round. So if something happens, you don't get your return, you don't just have to call into the void. You can call the office and we'll help you navigate that as well. So this program is important. This year alone, so the last tax season, we generated $551,000 in refunds that came back to the community with the people who had their taxes done with us. And we saved people $124,677 in the tax season in return preparing fees that they did not have to pay. So that's a lot of money that people then were able to keep in their pocket. And for ALICE families in emergency need, and families that are not ALICE, quite frankly, keeping those dollars is so much better. So to our friends who are in the tax world, we appreciate what you do. But if you have a simple return, really come to United Way. We'll do it for free with a certified program. We're really encouraging that. Every year we want to increase our numbers. Another program that is specifically for ALICE is our revolving car loan program. It's a great program for the ALICE population, and I think really showcases what we could do in the future if we continue to work as a community and talk about what we can do to meet needs. The revolving car loan program, we've talked about many times. It's a program for people who are working but don't have access to a car to get them to work. Or maybe their car has broken down, it's not able to be fixed, not worth fixing. And now they're going to lose their job if they don't have that car. You just heard Colleen talk about it. So what we're able to do, we work with Journey Bank, which is a wonderful banking institution. And we appreciate their partnership in this. We are able to guarantee loans. So we are able to say, okay, the car is, $8,500. So we have that money in the bank. We'll put it towards this. And then with nothing down, it does not matter your credit, which is really a lot of times the issue for people getting a loan. We are able to get them into a car and get them on the road. But it's not a free car. Then the people start paying back those dollars, paying it back, and that's the revolving piece. So what we're able to do is continually put people on the road because every month everyone's paying their car loans back. So at this point, we've had many people successfully graduate from the program. They then own the car after 4 or 5 years of making their payments. And again, we're able to continually put people on the road. So at this point, we've just relaunched the program. We took a slight pause. We always like to make sure that we're monitoring our programs, making sure that they're as high quality as they can be. We just got done with that process. And we're already at over 30 cars on the road. And again, some are not on the road anymore because the people have paid their loans off, which is exciting. But we're just getting ready to put another 3 or 4 people on the road. Again, all people who are working or have promise of employment and just really need that that car to make sure that they're getting to work on time. We hear a lot that's a big issue when you're relying on other people to get you there. Maybe it's filling the need, but you can't get there on time. We have people walking to work, and that's through every one of the many seasons we have in Pennsylvania. So, having that car again is just, it's so important. So, Danielle, what should we talk about? Mobile makerspace? What else should we? I don't
Yeah.
want to just keep going.
So, why don't you share a little bit more about the mobile makerspace?
Sure. So another thing that we're currently doing is STEM and STEAM programming. So for anyone that's unfamiliar with the terms science, technology, engineering, arts, math, and I think at this point many more fall into the category, making sure that we're connecting young children all the way up through high school children, all the way up through adult learners, really, with science, technology, engineering, math, is so important. And we are really lucky in our area to have the Lewisburg and Bloomsburg Children's Museums who do this in an incredible way.
Mm-hmm.
And what many people don't know is that those organizations actually do mobile programming. And so when we found out about this and started a little bit of a tighter partnership with these children's museums, we were like, wow, transportation is such an issue in this community, and it's so hard to have people come to you. We didn't know you were going to them. What could we do to partner together and make sure that you could do this, as much as people are asking? So with local libraries, with local community centers, how do we get you out into the community into an even bigger way? So we have been so lucky to have gotten a couple of really successful grants, and thank you to the 1994 Charles B. Dagenstein Foundation that really helped kind of at the very beginning magnify this into something so big. But what we're able to do is get these children's museums into the community and make sure that everybody, and again, we say not from cradle to gray, but anybody that wants to learn more has the opportunity to do that. And especially with younger, really young, and then middle school, high school students, getting them connected and realizing that there are wonderful careers right here in our local community. We also talk a lot about getting people to stay here. There are great careers in these fields, in manufacturing, great paying jobs. It starts at these, just little sessions where you learn, you connect, you do circuitry, you do 3D printing. I like to say, I love to do the connecting on this. I like to stay awake, as STEM and STEAM is actually not an area of expertise for me. But all of the stuff that gets kids excited starts the learning young and then advances them into these careers that we need people to be working in here in our area.
I love how it's just coming full circle. Sorry, I have my mic off because I keep getting that tickle, so I don't want to blast everyone with my poor allergy cough. 'Tis the season for Danielle to be allergic to ragweed, but I detract. I love the collaboration that we have seen between the children's museums. Like, we did a really cool live stream with them last year where they were able to show us some of the stuff that they're working on. And I know that for our youth opportunity piece, we're going to be meeting Val. They're going to be sharing a lot more about like the funding that we've got going into these different organizations. And I just can't wait to talk about that piece of it. So again, this is all about creating access for people who don't necessarily have access to these things. So we're really excited to continue to share that. And then I think too, Adrienne, one of the other pieces that we definitely want to make sure we talk about in terms of like who's providing support for our ALICE population would be our incredible funded partners. I'm sure that we both have a lot to say about them. Like, this was just from our summer meeting with everyone, but these are the faces of the people who are changing our community at the ground level. And it's just such an honor to partner with all of them. I know they loved me for forcing them to sit for like what is a tantamount to a school picture, but I was like, but I could barely fit everybody into the photo. And I think, when we talk about stuff like this, it can feel so daunting. Like, where do we even begin? And I think, like you said, these innovative partnerships that we have happening, and it all starts within the room. And that's one thing that I know you get excited about. I love that Colleen shared that even before you were part of United Way, this is what you were doing organically, which is bringing people together. It must be so anthropologist in you. Anthropology, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. So just bringing people together to work on solutions. I know one of the things that I love is in our staff meetings, when you start talking about this, just how you light up about what we're doing in the areas of, I mean, you mentioned rents, like housing. Housing is a big piece of this. And I know there's so much that happens behind the scenes that, the Day of Giving is really just one of those opportunities where we get to talk about all the work that's happening behind the scenes before it comes forward. And that mobile maker space piece has been in the works for years. So could you like share that timeline of like what that kind of looks like in terms of like putting these types of projects together, because it does take a little while to get everybody on the same page. So like you can share about mobile makerspace or something else, but yeah, like what does that look like, bringing all those different pieces together and the little like as we move forward to try to address some of these needs.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is 100% my favorite part of the job. And, it just like feels really natural to but, it really starts with building trust and conversations and, oh, you do that. And, oh, you do that. And, oh, this group or this funder is interested in that, and kind of getting groups to realize that, everybody's got a different piece of what it would take to make a whole. And that we're so lucky that's happening with Makerspace. We're getting it just started in housing. We've been doing it with transportation, and many more things. But this work around Makerspace predates we're actually the Columbia Montour folks, which is funny that we're on, but I know we've got all of our great employees that have been working in other, areas. So this work predates the merger. I think 2018, 2019, the Dagenstein Foundation mentioned that they were interested in STEM and STEAM programming. Time, which is the Improved Milton Experience, does a lot of work in this area, wonderful organization. And the CSIU, actually, who is one of our supporters and sponsors of our live streams today, got together and, just started doing the work. And a grant came to fruition and they started working and it built a little bit, and a grant came in and it built a little bit. So when Columbia Montour folks joined in 2021, of course, that was kind of right a year into the pandemic. So things were still a little slow, but already had quite a bit of momentum. But really, in these last couple of years, the meetings and the talking and collaborating and bringing in partners and just realizing how many people in this region do this work, and realizing that there's actually a lot of grant opportunity out there for this work, because we're really seeing the pipeline from young kids to careers through the STEM and STEAM programming, has drawn everyone to the table and has kind of allowed everyone to put down that territorial siloed work and agree to work as a community, which is the most beautiful part of the work, when we get groups to come together and say like, wow, we can really do this. So, I mean, from 2018 working siloed to 2024, it's a long timeline, which can be hard because keeping people at the table for that amount of time is tricky. But we have got, again, wonderful partners who that trust has just built. And because of that, the funding has built, to where we've got an almost $1 million grant to do this work. Unbelievable. So,
Sounds like people were getting united and ignited for the work. Sorry, I had to. Well, I think that, is there anything else that you wanted to share just in terms of the ALICE programming? Because I thought, one of the things that we're excited to do during this segment is kind of take people through a simulation. So if you're ready, I thought we could introduce that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think as we say with all of our simulations, and we're lucky enough to have several, a poverty simulation that we do. We have a simulation for people who have substance use disorder. And now we have this ALICE simulation. Simulations can be fun because going through it is gamified, but it's a serious situation. So we just want to kind of, before we do anything else, say that these are real people's lives. And actually, as I just have to say, Danielle, as I was listening to that video, it reminded me that 10 years ago, when I had just bought my house through a USDA loan, so very much in that ALICE population, my hot water heater broke, and I had just put money in my savings account for like the first time.
Oh, wow.
And a friend of mine was helping with the house, and I was like, oh, this is so frustrating because I just got this little bit of savings, and now I need it to replace this hot water heater. And he was like, that's how it is for people like us. Like that's how it is for people like us. You'll never have savings because you'll never have enough. It's just that little bit. And I've been so lucky now through this merger, to just get up and out of that Alice population, but certainly staff members, for us still are. I think that's been a big piece for major employers to realize is that, people working for all of our industry in the area, that is the Alice population, in addition to all of these other, professions. But it really is all of us. And that frustration of like, I've just saved a little bit. And then she, in that video exemplified it so well. I just saved that little bit and now it's gone, and now it's gone. And how disheartening that can be. So it is disheartening and it's serious. And so as we go through this simulation, we're going to giggle. We love to have fun together, but we do not want to underplay, how important it is that this is, something that is very serious that is happening in our community. And I think that there are some things that we can do as a community, and we invite you to join in that to help keep this population in stability, because everybody needs that helping hand. And some people aren't lucky enough. They said in the video, our family helps out sometimes. Well, what if you don't have that option? What if that is not something that you can have, which is to no fault of anyone if you don't have that family or friend that you can rely on. So what can we do to be that family or friend? And I think that we can come up with some great stuff. So I will share my screen. And here we go. I'm doing it successfully on a platform that isn't Zoom. Scary. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. I had it shared too, just as a backup, but I will let you take the lead here. It's coming.
So what I am going to do is kind of read through this, Danielle, and then you are going to tell me, first we'll talk about which family you want to be, and then you're going to tell me how you would make choices for one of these families. So the first page of this Alice simulation is, again, choosing a family, either Kayla's or Laura's. Kayla's family is 2 children, 5 and 10. They certainly want to see them one day graduate college, which is lovely. It seems like for this family, a first time in the family that there would be a college graduation. Kayla works at a retail store. Her husband is employed as a maintenance engineer for a small privately owned management company. So both individuals in the family are working 2 kids. Laura's family, Laura and her family are raising 2 daughters, 4 and 9. Laura works as a server at a hotel bar in Miami Beach. And her husband drives a school bus for a private school. In order to make ends meet, her husband decided to take on after-hour and weekend drive as a driver at Amazon. So both families, both working, 2 children each. This is Miami because they have the simulation, although even if the prices are a little different on some of the stuff that you see, I think you'll get the point of it. So Danielle, would you like to be Kayla or Laura?
Well, I just want to let you know that I had to change out the screen share because yours just kind of went blank on us, but I now have the one pulled up on my end. So if that's okay, I'm going to go through and like click.
Yes, of course.
I'm going to have you like walk us through it. So let me just see if I can get that bigger. Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Ha ha ha. We are doing all the things. Maybe not. Okay. Well, that's as big as it's going to get for right now. That's okay. So I think let's go. I don't know. Let's go with Laura.
Great.
Because my friend Laura visited me from Sardinia. So we're going with Laura. And then we go start. Oh, okay. Okay, here we are.
Yep. So Laura and her husband together earn approximately $5,000 a month, which again, this is in a major metropolitan city. So what you can do with the link that Danielle shared, and this is what people are always very interested in, is go and take a look at survival budgets for each of the counties in our 5 counties and see, just what a survival budget and then kind of a maintenance budget look like. And I think you'll be surprised by how much money you need to make ends meet here And you can kind of think about that for yourself. So the next thing
that's interesting to me. I just want to pause on that. So I think that the survival budget has been very eye-opening for a lot of people, specifically those of us who are working like employers. When they hear like what people have to make in order to just make ends meet, that's been a big eye opener. So I just want to point that out. So the survival budget, as you said, isn't necessarily what people think is what people should be earning. So these statistics are important to know because it does affect people, and hopefully we can begin the conversation around living wage. Anyway, I got distracted. Let's keep going.
So what's going to happen next is that you have 15 tokens, basically $15. And what you are going to do is decide when it comes to housing, healthcare, transportation, on and on, where you want to spend your 15 coins. So choices like in housing, you can have a studio apartment, but remember, it's a married couple with 2 kids in this situation. So you can have a 2-bedroom apartment and then a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. So you get to make the decision, and you might end up, maybe we'll go through them and then you can make some decisions, Danielle, but you only have a limited amount of coins because of course you're an Alice family with a limited amount of budget.
Well, let's, I think we have some people who are on viewing too. So if anybody wants us to make a certain decision, be sure to drop it in the chat, and we will, we'll do a quick poll of the audience and see where you guys think we should go. So I'm kind of leaning towards the 2-bedroom, 1-bath. I kind of grew up with a 1-bath household, well, 1.5. So I guess that's better. But, I feel like that's one that we can kind of do. But it takes 4 tokens for that.
Yeah.
Oy, that's a lot of my money. Okay. So now we're on to healthcare.
So now we're in healthcare. And so you can choose to have no insurance, which this would be for the parents. Of course, for families who are in the Alice population, they can access CHIP, but there is a payment to that. So, that is also not free for most families. Some families are lucky enough to be able to get it, but you can choose a high deductible family plan, which is something that many families make the choice on. But that high deductible, if you then run into a healthcare issue, is awful. And then you can have a full coverage plan, which I guess they're saying would be a not high deductible, but affordable. Well, not affordable probably, but plan. So Danielle, where are you thinking you're going to be on insurance? And anyone in the contributing room, please too, put your thoughts in.
Yes. People, make sure you're commenting in the chat. So, I was an artist, theater artist for a long time. And one thing I went without was health insurance for a very long time. But I feel like I'm too old to do that. And as much as I would like full coverage, I'm going to be a little prudent and just say like high deductible. But I know, because my husband's insurance is high deductible insurance, it's awful. It's like catastrophic, like only saves you if you're like hit by a bus, which nobody wants to be hit by a bus. So I guess I will be making the high deductible family insurance. Because that will cover our kids. Because I think we also because we're in Pennsylvania, CHIP is an option for a lot of people with kids, which I really think people should take advantage of. However, I have a question. Based on what you make, do you sometimes not qualify for CHIP if you are not making enough money, or kids just automatically, that's just me not knowing, do kids just automatically get enrolled?
Kids do not automatically get enrolled in CHIP. But as far as I understand, CHIP is available, but you can pay up to like a full premium cost. And then, some, of course, workplaces are good enough to offer family coverage right with it. So to those of you who are able to do that, we cheer you on.
Yeah, it's hard for small organizations. That's another thing that, oh gosh, try not to get upset. All right. So here we are. Transportation,
which of course in our community is a very big deal, as of course we now have Stop Hopper in some of our areas, which we're so thankful for, but public transportation is a big issue. So transportation, and again, now remember, you've got 2 kids who and 2 people who are working, and for your family, your husband is an Amazon driver, so you need transportation. So your choices are to walk or bike, bike, and take public transportation, and your own car. So that is a tough choice to make.
It is a tough choice. I feel like living in this area, I don't know what I'd do without my car. As expensive as it can be sometimes if if something goes wrong. And I lived in New York City, so the walk, bike, public transportation was just, a no-brainer. I didn't even want a car in the city because of how accessible everything was. So the thing is, though, is I live in Pennsylvania and things are not as accessible. So, Danielle's saying we should own our car. Oh, all right. Danielle, you think we should own the car? I was leaning towards walk, bike, and public transport because I don't know, I'm thinking of my brother who lives in Europe and he's like, poop, no, we don't do that here. So, okay, well, let's go with what Danielle said and let's own a car because I think she's being prudent. Oh, and Steph's saying own a car too. So, all right, own the car has it. Okay, you guys, we're running out of coins here though. We haven't even gotten to childcare. How much more do we have? Oh my God. All right. Well, all right. Childcare.
All right. So, childcare, you can leave your kiddos with a friend or a neighbor or relative. You can also go to a non-accredited early care and education center. And okay, you can, Danielle, when you made it small like that, I couldn't read anymore and I didn't follow. Let me see if I can follow along.
Oh no. Can you see?
Hold on one second. Sorry.
Here, let me try.
Here, I got it now. Hadn't clicked around on my own screen. So childcare again, and remember we do have in your family a 4-year-old, so you need some type of childcare. A accredited early care and education center. So lots of choices. And of course, at United Way, we're always advocating for high quality early childhood education. But I think here we're seeing the quandary of it. It's tough to make the decision to, sometimes pay the fees that are necessary, although scholarships are available and worth asking about.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I keep thinking about what do I have left to pick. So I'm one who likes to weigh things against other things. And I feel like I kind of cheat, like I cheat the system because I know, Joanne, credited is always best. And I know that. I want that. I want that for my child. But guess what? I think they're going to go with grandma. Unless someone talks me out of it, they're going to go with grandma. I will have my own stuff to leave with the family. That's what Danielle said. I think that's what I'm going to go for because that's what I do. But that's also hard because my parents are aging. My Olive is literally with her baba right now while I do this. So we're going. Oh, Steph. Okay. Steph wanted high quality childcare too. That's also, I know why they're saying that. CCW can help or scholarships. Interesting to know, Joanne. Thanks for the tidbits. All right. After school programming.
So here's the next thing. Childcare doesn't always cover full day. And especially if you're going to be having 2 people at work, something's got to happen with those kids after school. So again, you have the choice to leave those kiddos with a neighbor or a relative and hope that they're willing to go pick them up from school, get them back home, get them a snack, get them doing whatever they're going to do, after school care, or after school activity. So, which can be very pricey. So, what do you think is going to work for your Alice family?
It's so sad to see this because like I was involved in so many after school sports, and I don't think as a kid I appreciated like how expensive they are until like, and there were 4 of us and my parents were just like, you can do it. And it's just like, and I know that like some kids did not have that opportunity and you just don't like really think about it. Which is again, I think why this is really eye-opening. I'm also looking at what else we have because I can't help myself. We have the food and we have the miscellaneous, which is like, important stuff in the miscellaneous column, and then savings. We have 5 left. Oy, oy, oy. Oh, 1 meal per day? What? Oh God. All right. Well, these are hard decisions. I think we're gonna have to go with after school care. Mm. But if we have the neighbor and the relative,
Hopefully, they're willing to help all day.
I don't know. That's asking a lot, right? This is when you go to a friend. Joanne. She's like, this is when you go to a friend or relative. Okay, well, I have a lot of local family, which is, I'm very lucky. I don't know, you guys, help me make a decision. Now I'm paralyzed. I can't make a decision. Do we need to rethink the accredited? Oh, the early education. I'm robbing them. I'm robbing them of their early education needs, which puts them behind in school. I'm going down a spiral. All right. We're going to go with friend or neighbor, relative, food. This is giving me some anxiety. I'm not going to lie. I want my family to eat 3 meals a day for sure. And I've got 1 left. I tried really hard to like think in advance, but this means no phone.
Yeah.
No internet. Oh my God. Well, this is all we have left. Oh, look, no smartphone or cable. What if an emergency happens?
So what you're going to do is hit next, unless you want to change anything, unless you want to see if you can pull something from somewhere else.
I don't know, people. What do you think? This is where I go back to the public transportation thing. If we had 2, I still wouldn't get the phone. I really feel like a phone is super important for work and for life, emergency stuff. And then it's like move down to no. Do we move to a studio? I can't. All right. Well, no phone. I guess we're leaning on our friends and neighbors for even more. All right, let's just click next and see what happens. Uh-oh. Okay. Great job completing your monthly budget. As unexpected. Oh, wait. Let me make this bigger so everyone can see it. Hold on. As unexpected emergencies occur, how will they affect your monthly budget? What would you do and how does it make you feel? Okay. So that's what we're going to do now. Oh, no. Oh, God. Okay. Your child is diagnosed with asthma and you need to start medication, which costs you $150 per month to cover the copay. That's horrible. And it's true because one I changed insurances and it cost me $200 for my inhaler once, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." We do have those prescription programs though, so this is I think kind of the point, right? Like you have to be so resourceful. You have to like really navigate the system and know like what you can do to like make all this work. Okay, so this is going to cost $1 to resolve.
And Danielle, while you're thinking about that, I'll just say, so family-wise, which is what Danielle is talking about, is a co-insurance. So it's worth just putting it on your account family-wise. Any pharmacy will take it, and it will help reduce the cost of medications for families. And it actually works for your pets' medications too, which if you have an elderly dachshund like I do, who needs lots of medications at this point, it's worth thinking about because it helps to really cut down those costs.
Well, I'm back to my public transport thing because I don't have any other options. So I've lost the car, Danielle Wondolowski. I've lost it. Tough choices. Oh no. Another unexpected emergency has occurred, such as life. Some people say it comes in threes. How will this new emergency affect your budget? How will you rearrange your coins to adjust for life's changes? Uh-oh. Oh no, it's because I didn't do early childhood education. Oh, your child is falling behind in school, and you may not, hold on, you may not be promoted to it may not be promoted to the next grade without additional homework assistance. The cost is $100 for every weekly session, totaling $400 a month. In order to cover this emergency, one coin will be removed from your budget. Oof. All right. Now what?
Now you got to take another one.
All right, people, help me out here. Anyone? Anyone? I guess we could not take public transportation. I don't want to sacrifice food. Do we sacrifice healthcare? I'm already paying $180 for the health insurance copay. Ooh. Studio apartment. Everybody's getting cozy. That gives me lots more money. Ooh, I'm taking way too long to figure this out. Help me, help me.
I think walker bike.
Okay, thank you. Might not be the best person. I get very paralyzed. No insurance. That's what Danielle voted for. No insurance. Okay. Where are we now?
So now we are at the point where we debrief on it.
Okay.
So, Danielle, I think just watching you go through it, you can really get the sense of the fact that these are decisions that people are making every single day. This is what people are really dealing with. And actually, Bridges Out of Poverty, which is something that many organizations in our area follow and abide, the Getting Ahead program comes from this idea too, calls it the tyranny of the moment, when you're just caught making these decisions. And a lot of times people are in crisis and having these things happen. It really is, you said, Danielle, I'm feeling a lot of anxiety about this. And so people are trying to go to work and raise families and, go about their day to day and get their kids to sports and do all these things, and are having these really tough decisions to make. So I think, having that empathy for people who are in this situation, because it's 50% of our population. I'm sitting here in Columbia County today. 50% of Columbia County families are dealing with this on a day-to-day basis. So, it's something to think about and a reason to bring people together to see what we can do to help make a difference and, not have to, feel the struggle every single day. It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Danielle said she was feeling flustered. I know that I was too. I could barely make a decision. I felt like the paralysis of like, I can't choose this because I'm losing it's a lose-lose situation, which, as you said, is just what so many of our friends and neighbors are dealing with on a daily basis. Oh, Steph is just saying that she sees this every day with the families they serve, having to make tough choices for their families. It really is hard. And, it's also why we do events like this, to raise awareness, to let people know that this is what our communities are facing. This is why we're so passionate about this population and about meeting this need. Why we've pursued the programs we have. With the revolving car loan, the education piece for those who maybe don't get that early education piece. It's, oh my gosh, there's so much there and so much to dig through. A lot to unpackage. It's really having me think. Oh, and also like sad, a little bit sad. So tough is, I think, a good word for it. But on a maybe more positive note, I think that we can kind of share like other ways that like our audience can help. So if you are feeling flustered, if you are feeling saddened, if you are feeling like, oh man, this is tough, I didn't realize that this is what people were going through on a daily basis, there are ways that you can help besides just giving. So, or making a donation today. So Adrienne, I know that we have, we're actually doing something right now. We are calling it the Diaper Dash. So for those who have not had the joy of having to deal with diapers on a daily, they are expensive. So we are doing a diaper dash. And Adrienne, do you want to share a little bit more about what this drive is doing for us and who's putting it on?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have amazing women in our Women United group. This is a group of women who volunteer and give of their time. We really appreciate it. And we have recognized that, you know, a lot of families over Thanksgiving and then the end of year holiday seasons really want to make sure that their families have, you know, everything and that it's a really special time. And unfortunately, that special time is expensive. And then we find that families get into January and their credit cards are maybe overextended and their bills are still due. Maybe, you know, those bills that they spent a little bit more on. So we thought at this time of year, it would be great if for families who, you know, let's let them buy presents for their family and, you know, instead of buying diapers. So we are collecting diapers, and thank you to Wise Market who just donated 2 pallets of diapers and wipes. We have many diaper pantries in the 5-county area. That's where those diapers are going to go. So just because Wise made a big donation, they just wanted to kick off the diaper dash. You know, we still need more. So there are at all of the Mifflinburg Bank and Trust locations, diaper receptacles. There are also places that you can put donated diapers and wipes at our Bloomsburg and our Sunbury offices. And it's just a really nice way, you know, if you're going through the grocery store or you stop in at Dollar General for something, grab a small bag of diapers, small bag of wipes. It really does go a long way for families. And then they can, you know, this year maybe use those dollars on something else.
Yeah. So we will be sharing more about this on our social media page. So again, if you are looking for those locations, just make sure you check us out on our Facebook. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So, you know, at Susquehanna Valley UW. And that's a great place to hear about other things that we have coming up. We also share a lot of resources and opportunities on our social media as well, and like special events that are coming up that, you know, we think people should be aware of. And I think speaking of special events, we actually have another resource to share that is just launching. So one of our partners, Adrienne, why don't you just go ahead and kick off and kind of share like about who Susquehanna Kids are?
Yeah, well, Susquehanna Kids is a community partner. We are so lucky to have them. They are an organization that started because they really wanted families of young kids to know all of the great things. It started Columbia Montour. Now we're lucky enough that they have become Susquehanna Kids and kind of go all over our valley. They want to make sure that, and not just young families, but families know all of the amazing resources that are here in our valley, free and, you know, charge for you to take advantage of with your kids. So it started with that really basic concept, but it's grown into so much more. It's an amazing example of one person getting a really good idea, getting people excited, making a high quality resource for people, and then seeing what can happen when you just put it out there into the world. So Colleen Bowman, she is a local treasure. We are so lucky to have her here. She's got a great mind for so many things. If you've got a problem, go talk to Colleen because she is going to just unwind it. But this is her site along with some really amazing women that have helped her build this. And it has actually now, in addition to sharing, you know, a community calendar of great opportunities for families, it has become how we get our STEM and STEAM programs onto one calendar so that everybody can see where the opportunities are over the 5 counties. it was a great partnership opportunity for United Way, because we have got all these great funded partners and community partners who are doing this great work and don't always get the exposure, marketing exposure, that we would love them to have. So having everything in one place was just a no-brainer for us to partner alongside. We're really proud to work alongside Susquehanna Kids. And the newest piece of the website that is launching now is this community aid calendar, which is a one-stop shop for the drives. We are headed into a holiday season. It's a very hard time for families because they want their kids, everybody wants their kids to have a great holiday season and get the same experiences and opportunities that every other kid gets. So now is a great time. Actually, really now at the end of October is a great time. If you know families that are in need, to start thinking about signing up for Thanksgiving turkeys and food, Christmas, all of that stuff. The enrollment starts early and ends early. Toys for Tots locally is the place to go, for Christmas gifts. All of that stuff needs to be signed up for early. So you can find out about all of that and more on this community aid calendar, which is truly having everything in a one-stop shop, especially for families who, as again, you saw Danielle navigate through making those hard decisions and how hard it is. Going to one place and being able to sign up for things is wonderful. But then on the flip side, knowing ways that you can support local families is really important. So this is also a great website to say, hey, I want to support this community. Well, here's all the different ways that you could do that. So
are you guys able to see me like navigating through it?
no, mine is not. It's just still on the community aid calendar.
Oh man, I went through this whole thing while you were talking and not a single person saw it, of course.
Well, you can do it on your own.
Yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure that share this tab instead. Does that work? Am I moving? Yeah. Okay. So one of the cool features, as we said, they were launching this. Colleen wanted to make sure that I mentioned that if you do have an event that you would like them to add, to please contact them. It does take you to their email. So you don't, you can just send that and they'll be happy to add it to the calendar. But one of the really cool functions of this is as you're scrolling through, you can select free meal or holiday assistance, and it pulls up everything under I'm in I believe the Columbia Montour, or I might be I'm in the Snyder Union, Northumberland. So it just really goes and shows you through all of this of where you can pick things up. And they still have things that they're adding. They're still, compiling all of the different information for the local drives. So they did want me to mention that there's still more to come on this, but it is such a great resource. We're going to put it in the chat for you guys. And it's very easy to navigate, I must say. It looks like every time it keeps bumping me out. I'm not sure if you're seeing me navigate, but I will go ahead and move on with our lives. But like I said, please go check out that link in the chat. It's very functional. It's very user-friendly. The tags feature is super convenient, and you can search by Columbia Montour counties, and by Union, Snyder, Northumberland counties, and more to come on that. So please make sure you're checking back in, and it's a great resource. Adrienne, do you have anything else that you would like to share in terms of our drives that we have happening?
I think actually the last thing that I wanted to share, and then I should check, I'm looking at my checklist that you gave me. I'm have I said everything I was supposed to say? Danielle does such a wonderful job on this event, and I'm always afraid I'm going to mess it up at the last minute after she's done all the work for it. Just say everything she has said is the least you can do. But I think just a recap of, if anyone's listening and you really want to, get involved, but maybe not financially, which we totally understand after we've just done this whole segment on Alice, maybe it's just not the right time for you to be donating, financially. Giving of your time is so important. If you are able to go volunteer somewhere, able to, contribute in some way, that is also so appreciated. But the easiest thing that you can do for us and any nonprofit organization in our area that's doing good work is just share it on social media. Do a share, put it on your web, you can tell I'm a real social media user, put it on your web page. No, that's not right. but just
Share
share
it
it.
on your feed. There you
Thank
go.
you.
Yes.
Anything. But making sure that people know the work that all of these great organizations are doing is so important. And every single nonprofit that we work with is struggling to make sure that people know what it is they do. It's why we do this entire day of giving. It's really so important. So if you can do nothing else, just share it. And that is really huge. Tell somebody that you heard, something. There's a coat drive that will be coming up with CSO. Share it out. Maybe you can't, share a coat, but maybe someone that, is on your social network can. So just spread the word. And you've done a lot for an organization in our area.
Love that, Adrienne. Thank you so much. Good final thoughts as we finish up our financial security live stream. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I do want to bring back that leaderboard for us and let people know we are past halfway, folks. Past halfway. I'm so excited. So thank you to everyone who's already donated. Let's keep this going strong. We're going to be back here at 2:30. And talking with our community impact, so more along this line of how are we working together with our communities, and lots of some funded partner features. So more to come at 2:30. Looking forward to seeing you all back here then. And again, if you, as Adrienne said, giving, if you can, you can help us out today by sharing our live stream on your feeds. That's a great way if you can't give today. But there's so much more that you can do for a day of giving besides giving money. And so that is definitely a message that we want to send to people, is that there's giving in other ways. It isn't just about the monetary. We have goals, and of course we'd love to see those goals hit, just because we know that's going to be put to good work, but we appreciate anything that you're able to do and just help us share the word that this is happening. So we really want to get the word out about all the good things that our community partners and our program directors are doing. So thanks everyone again for your time, and make sure you make your donation, and we'll see you back here at 2:30.
Thanks, Danielle.